Hi there and welcome back to the M5Stack official channel. In this episode we'll be showing you how to set up M5Stack devices on Linux. We'll show you how to set up Arduino. First we'll download it here. Also UI Flow and also VS Code for MicroPython programming. So first we'll download the Linux version of Arduino. Next, while that's downloading, we'll go to m5stack.com, go to Software, choose Downloads, and we're going to download the UIFlow Desktop IDE Linux version. You'll see here we also have M5 burner and CP210X driver, but most modern Linux systems don't require you to install the driver. Okay, finally we're going to go to VS Code. VS Code has a plugin for M5Stack to allow us to program in MicroPython. So first we'll download VS Code. While these files are downloading, we can see how the USB device is listed in our ports. Here we can search ls dev tty, and there we can see dev tty USB 0. Just to double check that this is our device, we can remove and then check again. You'll notice that this device is not in the list. Now I'm going to install a terminal program which is called screen. So I type sudo apt install screen. Once I've installed screen, we can then add the COM port device name followed by the baud rate. You notice each time we get this error, screen is terminating. This is because we're not part of the dial out group. If we use sudo su to become the root user and try that command again, we'll notice that we can access the device. Once I reset, I see the boot up messages from an M5Stack that has MicroPython firmware. And now I can use the REPL, importing some modules, checking to see it's working. We can see the flash memory is available, and I can even fill the screen. Okay, that's great, but what if we're not the super user? We're going to need to add the current user to the dial-out group. Now all of our files have downloaded. I'm first going to extract the Arduino IDE. Now to add the user to the dial-out group, we type sudo usermod -a -G dial-out and then the name of the user. In my case it's Ubuntu GNOME. Okay, now we're added to the dial-out group, but we need to give the user permissions to access and read and write to the COM port. In order to use the Arduino IDE, there's also some Python tools that we need to install. So first I'll install pip to install those packages. Okay, the first one is PySerial. This allows us to communicate and send the programs over to the ESP32. Next is the ESP tool. This allows us to flash the ESP32. Okay, now we're done with those, and let's go to find the Arduino IDE. So I'll go into Downloads, the Arduino folder I just extracted, and then run Arduino. First up, I need to go into the Preferences, and then Board Manager URLs. And here I have the link, which I'll post in the description. I'll copy and paste this in so that we can find the board manager repository for ESP32 devices. Okay, now go into Tools, Board Manager, and once it's done loading, I type ESP, and there we go, ESP32. And the M5Stack boards are included in this repository. Next up, we need to add the M5Stack libraries, and also M5Stick if you plan to use the stick. So we'll go into Manage Libraries, type M5Stack, and there we go, the fourth one down. Let's install that. And then we'll scroll down just a little bit further for the Stick C libraries. Okay, now we're sorted. Let's go into Tools, Board Manager to select the correct board. If we scroll all the way down, we can find M5Stack Core and M5Stack Fire. And now we need to set the port, which is the dev TTY USB 0. Now let's just find a simple example to flash. Hello world. Okay, now let's run that. Seems to take quite a lot longer than usual on Linux to compile the sketch and flash it onto the device. But there we have it. Once it's finished flashing, we'll see hard resetting via RTS pin. Okay, now let's try out MicroPython in VS Code. First, let's install VS Code. Once installed, we'll open it up, and then we'll need to go into the Extensions tab. Here we search for M5Stack, and there we have VS Code M5Stack MPY. We'll install this. Now, in order to connect over USB, you need to make sure that your M5Stack has a UI Flow firmware and is in the USB mode. And then we go here, M5Stack, and then we enter into our Projects tab, go down to the bottom, select M5Stack Device, dev TTY USB 0, and now you can see all of the files on the flash system of your M5Stack. We can also run these programs. If we click on one, and then press the play button, we can also see the images here. We can also create our own Python scripts by pressing the plus button next to any of the folders. Now we can create a simple Python script and test it on our device. Okay, last but not least, we're going to run UI Flow that we downloaded. Once you've extracted it, just go into the folder and run the UIFlow.app. Then we select the port. It will connect. Let's make a simple program to test. You can follow all of my other videos to see how to use UIFlow. That's all for this lesson this week. Hope that was clear and you were able to get set up with M5Stack on your Linux system. If you have any questions, please make sure to leave them down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.